All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little past 7. It's about little past 2
Actually, past 8, Chet.
past 8 now. That's what I'm trying to get at here. 8:15 even for that matter. But we're here, Unapologetic, with Chet and Duffy once again on Fans Only Sports Network. I'm your host, Chet, in a different corner today, but to my left this time, going this way actually, is Duffy. Duffy, how we doing?
Yeah. I'm on the left. I was the stream's creator this evening.
Yep, and thank you for that, especially during this
Chet was getting a fade.
eventful
Show me your
day.
fade, Chet.
Oh
Show
yeah,
off your fade.
Show off the fade real quick.
You get a fade, bro? Yeah. Is that a fade? Oh, you're popping off.
It fades a bit. It's kind of like it's a happy medium type of fade, really.
I
didn't
afraid to go more fadey next time. You look sexy, bro.
Thanks, man. I mean, it's definitely. I could try to like let it grow a little bit longer on top and then see how it looks that way.
Commercial earlier, Chuck. Sorry,
but I'll work into it. I'll work into it.
All right.
But yeah, before we start off, I just want to give a sincere apology to anybody who may have been contacted by my Instagram account. That is not me today. I just wanted to inform everybody I was hacked on Instagram. I've been dealing with the issue since 4 p.m.
Bitcoiners, bro, at G298.
Yeah, so if you get any notification from this Instagram handle, do not respond, do not open, click on any link it sends. Please protect yourself. Please just don't do anything. Obviously, it's pretty dead obvious that it's not me. I mean, bro, like you saw what, like the background is literally me. That's not me.
All right, I'll pull up the post right now. We could screen share, but that's probably too much work.
Don't worry about it. It's gonna block it regardless.
But, no, this is Chet's Instagram right now. It's messed up. You know, got the background with the lock screen with the date, and it's Chris Heatu's like senior college picture or whatever.
It's literally a senior picture that my friend Caleb made.
Your direct deposit of $10,000 is now available. Chet, you're making bank, baby.
Apparently, there goes everything I made at George's. Apparently, I've been investing in Bitcoin this whole time, but no. So,
only thing you should invest in is Burger King's new like junior melt sandwich. This is gas. You see that right there? It's really good. It's really good.
But yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, I've submitted reports already to Instagram, and if you report it, please be careful because I would prefer not to have to create a new Instagram account. But if I do, it is what it is. I'm not really too stressed out about it. I mean, it happens. It happens. There's just people out there that do these things because they have nothing better to do.
Exactly, and you know, because Chet's Instagram is so, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just so perplexed and outlandish right now, and
it's not me.
Word, but this is if you guys are bored on Instagram and you want to follow me, it's my at t.j.v. I'm so unhacked. I'm so clean of everything on Instagram. I got a really strong password with a lot of characters and using lowercase, uppercase letters, and you know symbols. You know, Chet was lacking there in that department, so hopefully
I was, and the thing is,
at least you know.
The thing is, what everybody probably notices is I'm not really angry about it. I mean, honest to God, I had this discussion in the pre-show talk with Duffy here. The only thing I'm a little upset about is the fact that within the span of 15 minutes, I was getting like text messages from everybody, and thank you for letting me know. But I am very much well aware that my Instagram has been hacked. Like I know, I got the notification today. That's why I've been working very hard to get it back.
He was like, "I swear, if you're calling about everyone's calling me about," and I was like, "Yeah, you got hacked, baby. You got hacked."
Yeah, bro. So it's
how was the total text plus calls in the first 10 minutes? Like,
dude, I had at least like 20 messages in my inbox, and I'm still getting more as we go on. Like
people give a shit about you, man.
Hey, no, I appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate everybody reaching out to me and letting me know of the issue, but I'm well aware at this point. So I thank you, and let's get this account back. Hashtag free chat, baby.
Hashtag free chat, but you know, screw him. He's a great guy. At Chet U98.
I'm just putting the banner in right here. Yep, there it is. Hashtag free Chet. Go tweet it out. Put it on your Instagram. Get Chet his Instagram back. Let them know, baby. Let them know. Let them know.
We'll be back tomorrow, bro.
I want it back. Yeah, it's probably going to be back tomorrow. We'll see. Hopefully things go well. I've been checking the email my email every so often just to make sure. I already changed my passwords, but let's get into the real talk, which you all came for, sports. You came here to listen to that. I got to vent a little bit, and we're past that. So we'll talk about the Patriots for just a moment, just because at this point, we're not really going to, take a crap on the guy who basically hacked my Instagram. We're going to take a crap on the Patriots today because the Patriots have had easily one of the most worthless off seasons I have ever seen in quite some time. I mean, compared to last offseason where they spent the most money out of any team in the league to sign players like Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Jalen Mills, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, bums. They all proved to be bums, essentially. Besides Jalen Mills.
Got Judon, bro.
Judon, exactly. That's the thing. I didn't include him there for a reason.
Hunter Henry's not a bum.
He's not a bum, really, but he definitely needs more reception and more receiving yards. He's definitely a great red zone threat. That's what I love him for, and that's what he's been proven as. But Jonnu Smith, dude, get your head in the game, bro. Like, come on. We need you to make more big plays. Nelson Aguilar, I don't even know why he's still on the roster, really. Kendrick Bourne, I can't take a crap on him because he's been solid and he's had big plays that he's broken open for and taken it to the house. We saw it a few times this season. But this offseason, you take a look at the free agency tracker, you get James White back. Don't really understand that move, really. I mean, he tore his ACL after he signed a one-year deal with the team. They like him too much. Ty Montgomery signed after Brandon Bolden leaves. Trent Brown, I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. He's a decent tackle. We'll leave it at that. Shaq Mason getting traded was interesting, but we've seen it done with Logan Mankins. However, I think one of the biggest balls that was dropped was re-signing Devin McCourty, signing Jabril Peppers, and getting Malcolm Butler and Terrence Mitchell. So you put those money into those four guys, but then you let an all-pro corner like J.C. Jackson go ahead on a max deal to Los Angeles. And sure, some people have some issues with that, but it's like, bro, maybe he got overpaid, but he deserves that kind of money right now. This is a guy who literally led the league in picks for 2 years. Like,
two of the last 3 years, he's been the top, like 3, I think, in picks. Jason Jackson, and
he has a nose for the ball. He really does.
It's for the ball, but like we said, Chet, we've known it for years. We've been Pats fans our whole lives. Belichick doesn't care about any of that. He cares about his system, and we've seen it time and time again. He will find a guy to go and do the same thing. We saw Malcolm Butler become a second-team All-Pro with Bill Belichick. We saw him become a Super Bowl hero. He's back on the team, but Jace Jackson's a different breed. Mr. Ryan, he's a really good player. He's got a great nose for the ball, better nose for the ball than any player I've probably seen on the Patriots defensive backfield in my life as a Patriots fan the last 10 years or so, probably the best, takeaway player we've had on defense in my time religiously watching the Patriots.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it didn't surprise me. And especially after the offseason we had last year, spending a record $163 million in free agency. We couldn't expect too many moves this offseason. I mean, not a lot of cap for these Boston teams. I mean, for LA teams, I guess there's unlimited cap. We'll get to that in a sec later, I guess. But
yeah,
I mean, you have Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, a combined maybe I think it was like $100 million between the two of them, dude.
Something like that.
You give Matt Judon another $60 million. You give Nelson Aguilar $15 million. You give Matt Judon, or I think I just said Judon, but you did Jalen Mills another. $10 million. There's a lot of money to be added up. So, Pats, they still have a lot of their pieces from last year from a team that went 10-7. But this offseason, I mean, we've just seen the entire AFC get way better. Particularly the AFC West with the Raiders and Broncos and Chargers. And I mean, you got to ask the question. How and the Dolphins too in our own division. And you got to ask the question. I mean, are the Patriots? Could they miss the playoffs this year if Mac is at the same level he was last year? I think, yeah. It's realistic that they missed the playoffs unless Mac either really improves, has a breakout year two, like a Josh Allen type of year two, or someone else, Mahomes, but not Mahomes. He's different, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I mean, this Pats team, on paper, they're looking like the ninth best team in the AFC, and for the first time in a long time, the AFC is the conference to beat. And arguably, it has been the last few years, but it's the first time in a really long time. It's a big margin between these two conferences. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of competition in this side of the league.
Yeah. And that's a great point to kind of lead into like why this offseason really has just been kind of like a doozy for the Patriots, because you're talking about a stacked AFC conference now. All the teams are just loaded with talent at this point. You get Russell Wilson in a trade. Deshaun Watson's heading to Cleveland. You're talking about Khalil Mack, and you're talking about Khalil Mack getting moved to the Chargers. You're talking about J.C. Jackson going to the Los Angeles Chargers as well. And then you're talking about Chandler Jones, Devontae Adams, big names going to pretty solid teams that are just becoming better. The Bills get Von Miller. Everybody's loading up this year. The chances of the Patriots to make the postseason again are dwindling. And just the other day, Robert Kraft even mentioned, this was yesterday, in fact, that he's concerned and disappointed that the team hasn't won a postseason game in 3 seasons. Obviously, you missed the postseason 2 years ago, but the last 2 times in between, they lost both games in the first round. They lost in 2019 to the Tennessee Titans with Brady, and then they lost this year in Buffalo by a blowout margin, something we hadn't really seen in Patriots history. So for this offseason, it's just abysmal the way we've seen things transpire. And it's really kind of Belichick, trusting his gut in the system, but I feel like at the same time, it's almost pure stubbornness at this point. It's like being too familiar with what you got and not taking risks. Because there was people out there that we were talking about, like Odell Beckham. He's still out on the market, but he's questionable with that ACL tear and just his attitude being a team player. Allen Robinson got signed by the Rams, and that was a guy that the Patriots needed to get.
Oh, my God, dude. I keep forgetting that happened, the A-Rob to the Rams.
Because he was one of the top notable people that the Patriots could have had their eyes on in terms of a number one guy. And a lot of people from last season were just like, oh, A-Rob sucks. And it's like, well, then clearly you were not awake for the last 2 seasons before that in Chicago. Because when he came to the Bears, he was good. Even in Jacksonville, he was really good. But in Chicago, he thrived pretty well until last year when Justin Fields took over. Not to say it's Justin Fields' fault. He's a rookie. It's just the way it goes.
Quarterback, any receiver is going to have somewhat of an abysmal year,
Yeah, it was his off year. So for the Patriots, they had tons of options to bring in talent and keep it, but they didn't do either of those. Instead, they're opting to kind of just settle for less at the end of the day, and that's a concern.
Dude, and with the Patriots too, on offense. A lot of concerns, like you were saying. Playmakers are lacking. But another thing, too, this coaching staff, still no offensive coordinator after Josh McDaniels went to Vegas. This team has no play caller right now. There's no guy to man the offense and the coaching staff. And there's so many question marks around this team right now. The Pats got to figure it out quickly. We saw them last year around this time. I don't think we would have expected them to make the playoffs in 2021 a year ago, and they exceeded our expectations by going 10-7. Being number 1 seed through 14 weeks was crazy. I was a Pats fan, but this year, we're expecting a division title. Probably not a division title, but at least 11, 12 wins. So the Bills are still in division. The Dolphins got a lot better with getting Tyreek Hill. But with the Pats,
that was also a move I forgot to mention.
A couple pieces away from being a legit contender. And people thought they were last year, and knowing the Pats, me and you watched every game of theirs. We knew deep down they weren't a real contender, but I think this offseason is kind of just wasting away now, and maybe Belichick will try to build through the draft. The only good draft pick we've seen in the last couple of years really has been Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Probably more if I dug deeper. Kyle Duggar too. I mean, some good picks here and there, but not too much. Belichick's not a great draft day type of guy. And this team, man. Jabril Peppers in the background. A big sign for the Pats, I guess. Secondary always getting worked on. I guess he's going to be one of J.C. Jackson's replacements in the defensive backfield. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not impressed with the Pats offseason whatsoever. Sure, they spent so much money last year, a lot, and they couldn't do any of that this year whatsoever. But at the same time, it's like you could have got some of these guys really cheap. Odell Beckham's still out there. Maybe give him a 2-year, $20 million deal, maybe, probably less. But that's not going to happen either. So, we've seen times again with Belichick in the past. They don't get big time receivers. They never have, and I don't think they ever will. And other than Randy Moss and maybe Brandon LaFell, that's
I wouldn't even put Brandon LaFell in that category. If anything, put Wes Welker there.
That was disrespectful to Randy Moss. But the thing with Wes Welker, no one knew he was that good either. And the Pats got him. Like the Pats made him good.
He was a 6th-round pick, but then after a while,
he was undrafted. Chet.
He was
drafted. He was undrafted. Wes Welker. Yeah, fact check that. 2004, baby.
Blah, blah, blah,
from Texas Tech.
Let me see. No, not college, professional. Yep, who went undrafted in the 2004 NFL draft. You got it.
Yeah, man.
I'm thinking of Edelman here, who's also undrafted at this point.
Yeah, he's a 7th-round pick. Yeah.
Yeah. So still a low draft pick, but
yeah,
it's just. Patriots have been able to find diamonds in the rough in certain situations. And even in their drafting, N'Keal Harry, when he was picked in the 1st round, Jesus Christ. I mean, talk about
hopefully your mom's not watching this right now.
But at the same, it's just, I don't know. The way the offseason has transpired, there's been top talented players out there. Patriots need a linebacker. Bobby Wagner today, which we'll get into, getting signed by the Rams.
Let's do it right now.
Yeah, we might as well just hop into it. Bobby Wagner signing on a 5-year deal worth $50 million with the Los Angeles Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions. He joins Allen Robinson in a smashing group of veterans and young players there in Los Angeles to make another run for a Super Bowl. Wagner playing his entire tenure with the Seattle Seahawks since, I believe, the early 2010s.
2012, yeah.
2012, came into the league as one of the best backers, really. He was drafted in the 3rd round, I believe. And he's just been the guy that you really look to be the field general there on defense. This was a guy that the Patriots really could have gone for if they wanted to put the money in and get a linebacker who isn't slow and can actually make plays. But the Rams, this is a big signing for them defensively. It really solidifies the core once again with the edge rushers they have, with the secondary they have, to have a guy to really lead the charge on defense. And you get it just gives them a much stronger case to once again repeat and go back to the Super Bowl.
Dude, the Rams, this is one of those rare cases where a Super Bowl champion gets a lot better in the offseason, and it's scary. We haven't seen a team repeat, in 18 years since the Pats did it in 03-04. And with Bobby Wagner with the Rams, 5 years, $50 million. He's 31 years old. And I was talking about, what was the term you used? Frontland for that contract. A lot of it being up front. It might be a front-loaded contract.
Yeah, front-loaded.
Paid most of his money in the first couple years, which would make way more sense. He's Bobby Wagner.
A lot of the times that term's used in baseball because baseball players get paid X amount of dollars and then have a clause in their contract where after 3 years they can opt out.
You gotta think, look at this Rams team. How many future Hall of Famers are on this team?
You're talking a lot. You're talking now Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey.
How many locks? Aaron Donald,
Jalen Ramsey.
Ramsey's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Potentially Matt Stafford. He's fringe.
Matt Stafford, if he makes a couple more Pro Bowls, I think he'll be.
I don't know if you can put Cooper Kupp there, but he's working his way towards that slowly but surely. That even when he
last year, it would have been a joke, but he just had the best season ever by a receiver. statistically and accolades wise, which was crazy.
Yeah, he has a
And
strong case too.
dude, and Sean McVay. I mean, probably the best 30-something-year-old head coach we've seen ever in the NFL. You know, the youngest head coach ever hired in the NFL. He's already the best to do it at that young. He's still like 36 years old, 37 years old. I mean, he was only like 13 when you were born, Chet. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just answering a text right now because someone once
That
again.
little hack text.
Yep, just
hashtag free Chet, bro.
Where is that banner? Oh my God, there it is. Yep,
I just
pull
put
it
it
up
up
again.
and you put it down at the same time.
Yeah, go ahead, pull it back up. Continue your point. I'm gonna just answer this guy real quick. I'm sorry,
but dude, I mean, this Rams team, this is probably the best team that I've seen in position to go back to back in a long time. And other than the Bucs last year, we saw them on paper return all 22 starters. You know, that was pretty misleading, and they should have beat the Rams at home in the playoffs this year. I'm not gonna lie, the Bucs, they should not have lost that game. They got down 27-3. I mean, they came back, but they should have never been down that much to begin with. That game is a game the Bucs should have
this
won.
banner up the whole episode. Honestly, this is what everybody needs to see.
I will for sure, but I mean, dude, this Rams team, like, this team is stacked. Their offense is so good. Their defense is so good. Their coaching is phenomenal. And Bobby Wagner on this team. I mean, this is already the frat boy team in the NFL, the Hollywood team in the league. Adding Bobby Wagner to the squad. Are you kidding me? Bobby Wagner's, dude. You ever hit stick with Bobby Wagner in Madden?
It's an amazing feeling, honestly.
It's a glitch.
It literally is.
Everyone fumble. It's ridiculous, bro.
I mean, hey, this was a backer in that game that was literally never below a 95 overall. This guy was always like a 99.
He's been elite for so long. And him and Aaron Donald on the same team is going to be villainous. Also, Von Miller was on the team. That's the guy I forgot to mention. He's on the Bills, obviously. Yeah. But Von Miller, future Hall of Famer on the Super Bowl winning team. Maybe Andrew Whitworth, too. He also just retired. But this Rams team, they're picking up those pieces they just lost.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. He is.
I mean, maybe.
I think he will.
Because of his longevity, maybe, and the ring gives him a lot of credit. You know?
Yeah, I think he'll get in. Usually a left tackle that can last a very long time. And, like, his pass protection was great when he was in the league. If a guy can block, basically, and he lasts a very long time doing it, and people know him as that, he's going. That's the rule with linemen.
The Hall of Fame is some BS sometimes, though.
It is.
Guys they let in. Like when they made Terrell Owens wait like 3 years, that was BS.
It's because of it. It's because the way he acted on the field.
I gotta do that, but then put Calvin Johnson first ballot when he played like 8 years in the NFL, 9 years.
Well,
it's sinful.
Calvin Johnson was an animal, and he actually.
But
I understand your
Megatron point. Better than T.O., yeah. But
yeah, he kept his head down and played the game.
3 years.
Well, because I don't know. Because at the end of the day, it's like the Hall of Fame looks for prestigious people who are just upstanding, kind of just like treat football like it's business. That's really the way they look at it. You treat it with respect. You treat the game with respect. You treat the teams with respect. Not to say Owens didn't do that, period, but he was a showboat. That was his A game.
Still some bull crap, though.
I know, and I'm not disagreeing with it.
You're gonna make Gronk wait 3 years because he's a showboat? No.
Gronk's just dumb sometimes,
Gronk also has that hardware. He's got 4 rings.
Well, he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's first ballot easily.
He's first ballot for show, but
as much as I get mad at him for going to Tampa, I still love the dude to this.
Chet, I want to ask you, man, on this hashtag free Chet grind, Chet, which team in the NFC is most likely to contest the Rams this upcoming season?
It's not the Green Bay Packers. I'm telling you that right now.
The Green Bay Packers. It's the Bucs, right?
It's going to have to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because honestly, the way we've seen the talent just all get sucked in by the AFC is the loaded conference now. The NFC you could have said was, but honestly, I feel like the AFC, this is the most loaded time we've seen a conference be this stacked with talent probably in the last 10 years, in my opinion. I don't think we've ever seen a conference get
probably like 20, dude.
Potentially, because I don't think we're going to see many teams make strong pushes for the postseason because of this. But for the NFC, the talent's gone. It's all been shipped. And the only team that's still standing that can pack a punch against the Rams is the Bucs. The Cardinals, I have no faith in, and they already just lost Chandler Jones. That's a huge piece for them defensively. Now you're stuck with J.J. Watt, who is good, but he's had so many surgeries. It's like at this point, I don't see him.
He's just a Hall of Famer, man. Just if he hung up his cleats, he would be in Canton in a few years. But
he would be. Nothing but respect for that guy. But you're talking about teams like the Cowboys. The Cowboys can still make a case, but they're not going. They're not going to make it far once again.
Who's going to be Who's going to be the wild card teams in the NFC? I'll give you mine. I'll give you my whole NFC playoff picture. I'll think most recently, man. And there's not a lot of good teams in the NFC this year. This year, there's really not. There's probably only like 4 good teams in the NFC, dude.
Yeah.
5 actually. 5. I'm gonna say making the playoffs. Dallas win the NFC East. Green Bay will win the NFC North. Tampa Bay will win the NFC South. And I picked Atlanta before when Brady was retired. They're not making it with Mariota. They're not making it. But if they did, I wouldn't even be that surprised. That's how bad the NFC is. And the NFC West, the Rams, obviously.
Yeah, and now you 3 teams.
The Rams, the Niners, Cardinals will miss. The Saints will get in.
Yeah, with Jameis, famous Jameis, that could be
famous. And the other NFC wildcard team will be the Birds. The Eagles will get in.
Okay, that's some solid picks right there.
Either Eagles or Vikings.
Yeah, I was probably gonna go Vikings, honestly.
I think if the Vikings don't make the playoffs this upcoming year, Kirk is done.
Yes, 150%. And the fact they gave him more money makes no sense to me.
Well,
it really doesn't.
After next year, if they make the playoffs, he's gonna get traded. He's gonna be on the trade block heavy. He's only have one more year left on his contract. So that won't be too bad for teams to want to trade for. But it's a die year for my boy Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins was a guy that we mentioned here plenty of times on the show because Kirk Cousins, I mean, he's made a decent case for himself in terms of being, at least in the past season. This was one of his best seasons we've seen play, yet the team itself didn't do well. However, the Vikings themselves as an organization, as a team, they just can't get to the next level where we can sit there and legitimately say, this is a playoff team. This is a team that has a chance. They just find ways to.
I think there were spurts of it last year where we could have.
There were, but the problem is they didn't fall through, so you can't really go back.
There were a lot of games where they were in it and they scored a lot of points. And they beat Green Bay. That was one of the Green Bay's losses was against the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings, have a lot of star power on offense. They were close game against Minnesota, close games against Baltimore, Cincinnati,
Arizona. They missed the field goal.
Yeah, it's Arizona too early in the year. I mean, that's a team that should have won more games than they did, and that's just the Minnesota Vikings. And they find a way to sell games perennially, and they'd be a lower seed in the playoff landscape anyways, 6 or 7 if they're lucky. Because that defense needs some work, man. The NFC is just too young. Half the teams are good and washed. The other half are just young and don't have any chance. You know?
Absolutely. So, I mean, it'll be an interesting year. Who knows? The NFC could.
LA Rams.
Yeah, but the Rams are going to be the NFC champs or the Bucs. That's my opinion.
Don't say anything yet, man. No one would have picked the Bengals a year ago, bro.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anything can happen, but as of now, the Rams are looking the best team in the National Football Conference.
Absolutely.
But a lot can happen. Let's see what year 2 quarterback can make that development. We saw Burrow last year. Will it be Fields? Will it be Trey Lance?
And that's another thing that we haven't really talked about is Jimmy Garoppolo. Still there when the team was talking about trading him.
Do we have any picks of Garoppolo on here?
No, I mean we don't have to really get into it, but I mean the thing is
I do. I got a nice getting sacked.
Perfect. Yeah. No, Jimmy G. I mean he's just had issues with just maintaining solid games. I mean, and the thing is, I don't hate Jimmy G. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback. I can't even say, some people have come to me, I have friends who have said he's painfully average. That's very harsh for the guy. He's proven he's good. He is a good quarterback. He brought this team to the NFC Championship this past year, but the problem is he just has inconsistencies when he gets hurt. That's the problem. And we saw that because he had a shoulder problem going into the postseason.
True.
If Jimmy G's healthy, he's good. And the thing is, I feel like the Niners bluffed a little bit saying they were going to deal him. Who knows? Maybe that idea is still in their head, but
yeah, I just saw that there's a chance that he's still on the team next year.
Yeah,
crazy. And from what we saw from Trey Lance last year, I don't know if he's ready yet to be a full season starter in the NFL. I mean, he's born the same year as me, bro. He's born in 2000.
And it's interesting because they're
years old.
They're giving Trey Lance the Jimmy Garoppolo treatment that the Patriots gave him under Tom Brady.
All comes back full circle.
Yeah.
I don't think picking a guy 3rd overall will make him sit 3.5 years. I think he's going to get a start. I think he'll be a starter at least in year 1.5 or year 2 or 3.
Yeah.
With Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, painfully average. I wouldn't say that's an overstatement. I would say he's been average. I mean, he's had one good year in the NFL, or he's the year they went Super Bowl, 27 touchdowns, 13 picks, solid numbers, and 13 wins. But when he's been on the field, I mean, we've seen him in the playoffs, bro. And in the playoffs, their game plan is always keep the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
NFC Championship 2 years ago, we saw Raheem Mostert run for 4 tutties, 200 yards, something like that. And Jimmy Garoppolo threw 8 passes that whole game, bro.
Yeah. And then this season, we saw the same thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
He didn't have a touchdown pass the first 2 games of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm pretty sure the max amount of passes we saw him throw in the playoffs this season was 17. And Deebo Samuel was the one running the ball along with what's his face, Mitchell.
Isn't sure the whole story though, because a lot of Kyle Shanahan's game plan, especially after that Super Bowl 51 choke against the Patriots, is to run the ball and milk that clock when you got a lead. So passing Jimmy Garoppolo isn't going to do that for you all the time, but I think they got to put more trust in him, so he can prove himself. But if he's not that dude, he's not that dude. Is he average? I would say he's better than average. He's an NFC Championship quarterback. You got to give him credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys can't say that in the NFL.
No, they can't. And I mean, it's tough because his career has been riddled with injuries where when he first got traded to San Francisco, hurt, tore his ACL, and then really we didn't see him take off until he took the team to the Super Bowl, and then this season.
He went 5-0 in 2017, remember?
Yep.
On a 1-10, I think, Niners team. They won their last 5 games with this dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a winner. And I think that Shanahan system has always been good. But I think Garoppolo has just been the guy to make it work. But I think Trey Lance, when he develops, will make it a lot better because they can add that running dimension. They can add, that RPO dimension, that read option part too. A lot of different stuff they can't do with Jimmy Garoppolo. And because they're an explosive team now, they run the ball like no other team in the league, other than the Baltimore Ravens when they're healthy, maybe.
Yeah.
And this is a team that last year 10-7, the Niners, but they have talent better than 10-7. I mean, this is a team that, if healthy for a whole year, can go 12-5.
Yeah,
13-4 maybe.
Jimmy Garoppolo
with the right quarterback in place. That right quarterback now is Jimmy Garoppolo. Will he start next year? I don't know. Because their overall pick, you trade a lot of picks to get Trey Lance. The fan base will give you pressure to start that young buck. We'll see what happens. I think next year they would win more games with Garoppolo than Trey Lance right now. But it's also, March 2022? We're about 2 months into the offseason. We don't know how Trey's developed yet. Trey area, they call him. We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. Jimmy G, he's still a guy who can play and deserves a starting job somewhere in the league. But we'll see how long it lasts in San Francisco going forward and if the team decides to opt to move on and start Trey Lance going into this season. But now we move on to the final segment of the show. March Madness is finally about to come to an end.
I was making a prediction.
It's been one of the craziest March Madnesses, obviously. I mean, you can't really say it's been one of the craziest because they're all crazy. But this one has been very, very special indeed. You're talking about a Final Four between Villanova, Kansas, Duke, and UNC. In the Duke-UNC game, you couldn't have drawn this up any better because it's the first time ever in the Final Four we're getting these two teams going head-to-head. The coach's final year in Duke. This is big news right there. And Kansas hasn't been to the Final Four in quite some time. Villanova, they're no stranger to the Final Four. They've been here plenty of times. UNC, same story. Duke, it's been a while, but they're here. They're in the dance. All of these teams have earned their spot here. So now it's time to really go over our predictions and our final thoughts here for the Final Four that starts this Saturday. And then we got our national championship coming up for the March Madness bracket. So, Duffy, hopping right into it, we got to talk about Villanova and Kansas because this is definitely going to be a big series right here. Well, not even series, big game right here. And it seems Duffy is currently experiencing some lag. Could be on both of our ends here. But kind of looking at where things have gone in terms of their series, Villanova started all the way back against Delaware, killing Delaware in their first game. Ohio State, 71-61. There was no surprise there. And same with Michigan. Michigan, that was a tough game once again. Houston also brought a lot to the table. Low-scoring affair, but it allowed enough for Villanova to get all the way to the national championship. There goes Duffy right there. He'll be back in just a moment. And then Kansas. Kansas starting in a very great spot in terms of where they were. Kansas killing Texas Southern in the first round. Creighton really put up a tough fight. And same with Providence. And then Miami, a complete blowout against Miami, gave way for them to make it all the way to the Final Four. And now, when you talk about Duke and UNC, we'll start with UNC, Chapel Hill. So for Chapel Hill, you look at where North Carolina began against Marquette, 95-63 in the first round. Then 93-86 against Baylor. That game goes into double overtime with Baylor missing a lot of its great starters and managing to score 51 points in the second half to push it to OT. North Carolina walked away with the win. And against UCLA, another big win. But then North Carolina shut down the Cinderella team, St. Peter's, by a final score of 69-49. By 20 points, they win in that one and managed to get themselves in a good position to take on Duke. For Duke, this team started off against CSU Fullerton, 78-61, took down Michigan State shockingly in the second round. I didn't really have Duke going too far, and I believe that is Duffy as we speak. It seems he's continuing to have technical difficulties. Duffy, you there?
Dude, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Dude, my computer just literally, absolutely killed itself at 9%. I was getting all my boys on.
Wow.
Oh,
Are they coming back?
We got some predictions, bro.
Yeah, I was just kind of going through the last spiel because I got through the other three. Now I'm just talking about Duke for a second. So for Duke, they get through CSU Fullerton, take down Michigan State, then Duke takes on Texas Tech in a great game.
401 right here.
78-73, and then against Arkansas, 78-69 to secure their spot here in the Final Four against UNC. So we'll start it off with Kansas and Villanova to really kind of start off the story here.
I'll go to Chuck real quick. Yeah. Get over here.
Yeah.
Look, we got the biggest Nova fan.
Easy upset. Without Justin Moore, I think some, the big time players, Colin Gillespie, maybe you get a little, they're gonna step up to the plate.
Yeah,
they're gonna get it done.
Should I be a Kansas fan for the weekend? We got a UNC, Duke, and Nova fan. I'll be a Kansas fan this weekend.
I've always liked the Jayhawks.
The jerseys that Villanova are wearing this weekend.
No, what are they? Are they fire? Yo, but Cheats, here's my take on this game, right? I think Kansas is just the better team. they got good rebounders. They're just great all around. That's why they're a top 4 team in the nation. And
They were playing.
I'm thinking Nova because of Colin Gillespie, bro. He's sick. and Samuels, Jalen Samuels, Jermaine. Jalen's the other one who I met at Matt's birthday party.
Cam, what do you got here for Kansas and Villanova?
All right.
So Villanova's tough. You got what's his name? Justin Moore's out, but Gillespie and Samuels. It is a 2018 rematch. Gillespie was there. The Mitch Lightfoot of Kansas, he was there. They both are very veteran teams. Abaji, McCormick, Lightfoot. They're all seniors, juniors, older guys, and 2 good coaches. But I said this the other day. I don't like to bet against Jay Wright. And I would love a Villanova-Duke championship. So I think Villanova's going to pull it out. The story is Justin Moore. The story is Justin Moore, but Kansas, I'm not a believer in Kansas. They haven't really faced anyone that was that good that is making me think that they're a good team. And I like Villanova in March, so I'm going to say Villanova.
Well, I'm a Kansas fan this weekend, so
it's an L by you.
I'll take Kansas to fade you guys.
You guys can continue to sleep on the best team in college basketball.
But Chet, let's go to the next game.
Yeah, well, I guess for that, I mean, honestly, Kansas hasn't really proven to me in like at least the last decade that they're a team kind of worthy of going to the national championship. Really, I'm gonna have to go Villanova really in this one. But yeah, so now we move it back towards the Carolinas, the Durham area. You're talking about Chapel Hill, UNC, and Duke. This is like I said before, this is you could have drawn it up any better. For the first time ever in March Madness history, we're talking about UNC and Duke taking on each other for the first time in the Final Four.
Chet, last time we talked, you said Gonzaga, which was just a ridiculous take.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I'm curious who you like out of the last 4.
Oh my God. People are calling me still about my Instagram. I don't care. Continue.
It's free Chet. I gotta put free Chet.
Yeah, we gotta put free Chet back on here. My God. But yes, Gonzaga, terrible pick on my count.
Obviously, the Blue Devils are the better team. They're the best team remaining on paper. They have the most NBA talent on their team. The saying in March is which NBA talent will get you the deepest, and it's true. They have 6 guys who can go out and get double digits every game. That's the deepest team in college basketball. You won't find that on any team remaining. They did it in the Elite 8, which is why they steamrolled through Arkansas. They have 6 guys who should be starters on any other team across the country, but they rotate in. They have the best player remaining in the tournament in Paulo Banchero. He is going to light up the Tar Heels, similar to what happened in Chapel Hill the first time. And if you think Hubert Davis is going to end coaching,
all right. This kid has no.
Get back on the camera for us to say.
Dirty spirits.
No, you give your take next. You're giving your take next.
All stuff. So he's
Fallacies.
gonna
Fallacies.
but at the end of the day, Hubert Davis is not going to be the one to end Coach K's career.
Yeah, just like he did ruin his retirement ceremony.
Whatever he said. Just him.
Disregard it.
Yeah.
UNC plus 11 was the lock that night.
Fugazi.
We got big Duke fan here. We're the big UNC fan now.
All this crap about Hubert Davis is so ridiculous because we mucked on some Baylor, we mucked on some UCLA, and we mucked on some Marquette. And not only that, we mucked on some Duke on Coach K's last game in his home arena. Like that is he's not gonna get us back. There's no getting us back. We're in 8. No one wants to see us here. And truth be told, Paulo this, Colin Gillespie that. Caleb Love's the best player in the nation right now. And if you want to go watch his highlights over this entire tournament, anyone with eyes could see that. Paulo is probably the most overrated player in college basketball, and he's going to be more of a bust than Zion. You can put that down on paper, and I don't care. I'll back that up. Bro loses 10 pounds a game from dehydration. Like, just drink some water, man. It's not that tough. Just drink some goddamn water. And I think everyone in the country knows that Coach K is shitting himself right now watching film of Caleb Love, and they have no idea how they're going to be able to guard him. And Armando Baycott right now is practically almost averaging a triple-double or a double-double through this entire tournament right now. I have Kansas by 15 plus, and I think UNC Duke is going to come down to the last couple of possessions, but I have UNC pulling this game out by 4 points. I think Villanova has been the most fraudulent team in this tournament, and even if they do make it to the championship against UNC or Duke, they are going to get murdered so bad on national television that Jay Reddy's going to be forced into retirement.
Yeah,
Wow. That was a great.
That was a fat sentence right there.
That was a big eulogy. I kept up with most of it. It's a lot to take in. And to be honest, here in the Final Four,
I'm falling asleep. Chuck doesn't even know.
It was a great speech. I gotta give it to him. Some great points there. And truth be told, in terms of my case and my March Madness bracket, the only two teams that I had out of the four that I had in there that are there are Villanova and UNC. Duke I didn't have there. I didn't have Kansas there either. But looking at what we've got in terms of the matchups and such, I'm a UNC guy. I've always liked UNC. But I'm going to take Duke. I'm going to take Duke in this one, honestly. I just like Duke has really defied my expectations in terms of what we've seen here in March Madness. And you know what? Give it to him this year. Give it to him.
Thank you.
You think Coach K is a ride from the sunset for ratings?
He
If
could.
Coach K wins
I'm not
for
saying they'll
ratings,
win the
bro, I'm
national
not watching
championship,
TV
but
ever again. That's cap. It's cap.
But yeah, so Tim,
You think
your
so?
Duffy, yours. Your
I
call
think
here.
it'll be Duke, Kansas.
I think Duke's gonna win.
Kansas.
I think Villanova would have Justin more.
Duke,
That's all I gotta
Kansas.
say.
I'm going Duke Villanova. That's my
But if
call right
UNC
now.
wins, it'll be a close game. There'll be a Wikipedia page for the game, and Coach K will come back in 2022. I tell you that.
No, the dude's done.
Yeah,
He's
no,
done.
he's not
This
done.
is
He's
it.
done.
This guy just wants to, call it a career. He's had a great career there in Duke. It's just, if they win, it doesn't matter. Win or lose, this guy's done. That's just the way it is.
Perhaps.
But I mean, yeah. Any final thoughts before we call it, Duffy?
Oh,
I said it 2 weeks ago. They're the best team in the tournament. They were the best team all year. They didn't get love because everyone said their conference was weak, but 3 teams made it to the Elite Eight from the ACC. It's clear I have a 25 to win 400 future on Duke. Not a big deal. But Bancaro, Mark Williams, I love this team from the beginning, and it's over. Duke won it. Thank me later.
All right. That
Any
wraps.
final thoughts?
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
Over Kansas or Duke, UNC?
Full healthy Villanova squad wins the tournament easily. Not even a question. That's all I gotta say.
Any last takes on Fortnite?
Fortnite's a pretty mid game, but not as mid as Villanova or Duke. Doing this by 100, we're gonna be holding up that natty in a couple of days, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great feeling.
Well, I'm a Kansas fan. I got Kansas winning the natty right here, man.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna take Duke. I'll take Duke. Screw it. Going with Duke in the national
Reach
championship.
that.
Yep. Duke's going to be popping a bunch of natties when they win. A bunch of natty ices. That's all we'll see on national television.
They're all like underage.
I'll still get him some champagne.
Yeah. Some natural ice. We'll get that for them. Anyways,
guys are like 19.
I'm just joking around here. Anyways, that wraps up what we got tonight here on Unapologetic with Chet and Duffy. As always, we'll catch you all next time. And as always, go Pats.
Go Pats!
Yeah! All right, good shit, guys. Thanks for